Fanatic.com brought to you by Patrick Eads and everyone at Deary Brothers Ford on Mormon Trek. Steve Anderson, Hawkeye Title and Settlement. Mike's E-Keys for Cars. Tavern Blue on the Coralville Strip. GT Car and his crew at Supple's Building and Remodeling. Supple's Flowers, home of 1-800-800-ROSE. The Midtown Family Restaurants. Harty and Stocker Jewelers, 101 South Dubuque Street, downtown Iowa City. Diamond Dreams Sports Academy. Premier Automotive in North Liberty. Dirk Sterner Taxidermy. The Oxyoke Inn in the Amanas. Streets Maintenance. Dr. Lance Forbes, Diamond Dental in Cedar Rapids. And Big Dog Tech Solutions. Here's Tom Suter and Pat Harty from HawkFanatic.com.
Is that it? That's our cue?
Take it away.
Take it away, and down goes your mic. It's a little froggy out there this morning.
Yeah. Very foggy out there.
Yeah. Kind of like my throat.
It'll be burning.
Are you sick?
No.
Actually, it's burning off now. I can see the tree line again.
Well, as it warms up, yeah. It'll,
Yeah.
It's going to be in the 50s, right?
Yeah.
I was thinking driving over here. We got the game tonight in the Quad Cities. We're so lucky. I mean, it could easily right now be 25 degrees.
Oh,
and
completely.
And, God, am I going to go over there? Are we going to make it over there? Don't have to worry about
We
it.
could have snow on the ground.
We don't have to worry about
a year
any
ago
of that.
we did, according to my Facebook memories.
What's that?
A year ago we had snow on the ground.
At this time?
Yeah.
I'll never forget the year it froze like about November 10th. Never thought again. We've talked about it
Oh, that
before,
was
with
brutal.
all the dog poop and
Oh,
everything.
my God.
That was a bad one. But what's it supposed to be, like 54 today?
54.
Yeah, so the
My
drive,
front yard smelled like a hog confinement pen.
it was Kahlua and cream. My backyard was Kahlua and cream. And I remember picking it up and yelling at the dogs while I was doing it, thinking that was going to accomplish something. I'm like, this is your guys' fault. You know, they're rocking around the yard because things are starting
Well,
to
that's
soft.
where they're supposed to.
Well, I know, and it was just complete stupidity on my part, and they gave me looks like, seriously, that's where you're going with this?
I would have said to myself, I'm going in the house then.
Well, one of them did. I mean, my dogs are really good at ignoring me. They used to ignore me all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, sir, does Wopsy ever ignore you?
I'm sorry, what did you just say?
No, my dogs would ignore me, especially Buddy as he got older. You know, he would just, I'd be doing something with him, then all of a sudden, nope, we're done, and then he'd go and climb up on the couch and stare at me and say, I don't want to do this anymore.
Wopsy's pretty compliant, but if we're on our walk and if there's a smell, man, she's on it and she is strong.
Yeah, that's dogs. That's right.
That's
just how dogs are.
And she's particularly smell oriented.
Since Lily went, Tabby's just with us all the time.
Well, I can see that.
100%.
How much less hair do you have around the house? Is it just very noticeable?
Oh,
we
my
haven't.
God.
We
course.
still left it there.
You just have as a kind of a memento. Well, that's what I remember when I lost both my dogs after Lakota was gone. You never have to hardly vacuum anymore. Whereas I used to vacuum twice a day because there was so much hair. You know,
I'd give anything to vacuum.
Oh, I'd give anything to vacuum too, but that's the one. That and poop. Those are the two only positives about losing your dog. Yeah. But you didn't have to pick up your poop, so you could never relate to that.
I've picked up.
Yeah, but that was mostly Jan's job, wasn't it?
Yes.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes, and she liked it.
Yeah, I'm sure she loved it. She actually told me it was one of the things she really enjoyed about her marriage with you, was the fact that you let her.
One of the perks.
Yeah, one of the perks of getting married to you.
me.
Besides being linked to this empire was being able to pick up the dog poop. So,
speaking of dog poop, how do you think we'll play tonight in the Quad Cities?
That's kind of a depressing segue. I don't know this. I don't know what to make of Washington State. They're 3-0, but Iowa's 3-0. I mean, we'll see. I think it's two teams that both, I think, have NCAA tournament upside, but a lot of stuff's going to have to happen. And yeah, this will be I just think it's a neat event. I wish it was 7 instead of 7:30, but that's nitpicking.
Yeah, it is.
And we'll see. It'll be interesting to see. This team's got some size.
They do.
But there's just
they like to shoot.
There's just, but there's just such a small body of work yet. I mean, to really know what they're going to be like, and the same with Iowa. The same with Iowa. But it'll be a good test. I mean, it's time for them to play a better team.
Yes, and it's time for us to play a complete game too.
Yeah, and that's probably what it will take to beat a team like this. It's just they've had 3 wins against teams that they would beat under any circumstance. So now it's time to amp it up, and that's what they're doing. So
interesting to see.
I haven't been there for years. The last time I was at the Mark was for a basketball game back in I think Settles may have played in it. It was that long ago.
I think the last time we were at the Mark was either Paul McCartney, or the Dixie Chicks.
So nothing.
It's been a while.
Yeah, no, it's been a while. I mean, the game I'm talking about, God, that may have been 25, 30 years ago. But then did they have an NIT game there one time?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
I probably would have been at that.
Did.
I think I've covered 2 games there before. So, but yeah, Dallas is picking me up right after he gets out of school. And we are gonna try to head over. We got directions, and Andy said it's about a 15-minute drive from his place to the arena without much traffic, and he says there's rarely traffic.
And there's always construction.
Yeah, so if that should get us to the Quad Cities around 4:30. That should give us enough time to go spend an hour at Godfather. I mean, I want to get to the arena. I'll get to the arena an hour before the game. I mean, I get there about 6:30. I can't remember. Is there plenty of parking there? Do you remember?
There's
okay.
There. Yeah.
I mean, we've got press passes, but I don't know about the parking situation.
It's not going to be like it was at Paul McCartney. It's not going to be that many.
The arena holds 9,200.
Okay.
I mean, do you have parking passes, or do you have
we just ordered credentials, and they approved it, so I don't know if we're going to be on a list or what.
I mean, there's some good parking around the venue, but depends when you get there. If you get there...
Well, I don't mind walking a couple blocks, too. Yeah. I mean, if, it's what... Okay. But, yeah, we're going to get there probably an hour before the game. I mean, I know I don't like to get anywhere way early. I mean...
If you have to count on parking on one of the side streets, then it's catch can. Then you just got to get lucky. Which you probably will, but you'll have to walk a ways.
But my guess is there'll be enough. I mean, it's hard to have an arena.
I mean, it's not sold out.
Well, plus it's hard to have an arena if you don't have enough parking to have you know what I mean?
Well, true.
So, yeah, I'm not that worried about it. We did get our credentials approved, but I didn't order them until this week. So my guess is they're just going to be – I got to read the email that they sent. I haven't read it yet.
Yeah, and I don't believe it. I mean, at least last I checked a couple of days ago, it was nowhere near sold out.
That's what you were saying. Now, Brock Harty
held more than
9,200 according to the notes.
It might hold more for concerts.
For concerts, okay.
Yeah, the notes say 9,200.
Yeah.
But yeah, Harding and Owen Freeman both said that people are coming out of the woodwork, and Owen Freeman actually said that everybody in the Quad Cities is going to be at the game. And I got to thinking, how many people are in the Quad Cities? Population,
a couple 100,000.
So how's that going to happen? Where will I park?
Where
will I park?
It's not
gonna, it's not going to work.
I'm joking. He did say that, and I thought I chuckled when he said it. He said everyone in the Quad Cities is going to be at the game.
Yes, sure they are.
Do you know is your nephew? He's Quad Cities, right?
Yeah, but he
won't be there. He won't be there. Why?
He's mowing. He's always mowing.
He can't be there.
He can't be there. So I'm going to let Owen Freeman know tonight that I know of at least one person in the Quad Cities who's not going to be there.
And Andy's working. So he's not going to be there, right?
Oh, no, I think Andy is going to be there.
Oh, yeah.
He's not. No, Andy gets off today at 1. Boy, I wish I worked his hours, don't you? Must be great to be in charge, isn't it?
Yeah, it's wonderful. Hello.
Yeah. How's that tell you
Good
much you love
morning,
the website?
Pat, there's a parking ramp right across the street from the
okay. Yeah. We'll be
you
fine.
can park in, and then they got a walkway right into the arena too, there too.
And there's a big lot, open lot, right by the venue too. No, there's plenty of parking, but
There's plenty of parking.
Okay.
But if you get there 20 minutes before the venue, there isn't plenty of parking.
Well, yeah, I'm not going to get there that early because I want to set up. And we'll get there now. We'll get there at 6:30. So that gives us 2 hours to get in there, go to Godfather's, and get to the arena. That should be enough.
Yes,
time.
it should.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, have a good time.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, parking ramp, good to know. No, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to watching what hopefully is now, it'd be great if Iowa went out and beat them 100-10. I mean, that'd make us all feel really good. But, I'm looking forward to seeing a competitive basketball game.
I guess my biggest concern is this team hasn't played in full together or a good team, but we haven't had a full roster for any game yet this year.
Yeah, and Washington State really hasn't played. I mean,
well, they haven't played much of anybody either.
No, the same thing. And So, yeah, like I said, this will be that good opening test to kind of show where this team is now. Some weaknesses could get exposed. It'll be interesting to see how Iowa shoots from three tonight, because I think it's going to take some three-point shooting to win this game.
Absolutely.
I think it is. And it's going to take more than Peyton and Price Sanford. Some other guys. It'll be interesting to see who plays better between Harding and Thilwell at that point guard position, too. I mean, Harding's going to probably put a lot of pressure on himself because he's going home. But he can't put too much pressure on himself because that may affect the way he plays.
Now, Wazoo likes to chuck up threes.
They do. And Iowa does, too. So, yeah, I could see this game being just a lot of quick possessions back and forth. And
crazy bounces
crazy
off poor
bounces,
three-point shots.
So, yeah, points in the paint are going to be interesting because with so much transition, sometimes points in the paint are misleading, especially if you're making a bunch of threes. So, but no, it's going to be interesting to see how both teams handle better competition.
Yeah, it is.
And it is. Obviously, it's going to be a home court. I mean, do you think Washington State will have any fans there besides maybe a family member? What if all of a sudden there's like 3,000 Washington State? They just take over. They take over Moline. They're riding up and down the river just yelling.
Moline, Wazoo, Midwest.
Who hates Iowa? They're yelling that Minnesota chant, who hates Iowa? No, do you think there'll be any Washington State fans there?
Oh, sure. There's people in the Quad Cities who went to Washington State. There's going to be some.
I guess there could be that. Yeah. But do you think there's any, like, out in Pullman that hey, we're flying out to that Iowa game?
That sounds like fun.
I don't think there'll be much of that.
There
probably, but who knows? You never know.
There'd be a few.
But it's going to be a very home-centric, home-heavy crowd that Iowa should be able to benefit from, you hope.
Well, you hope so.
Is it going to be on the tube?
Yes.
It's on Big Ten Network.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, good.
Now, the problem Sunday for some is going to be the Drake game is on ESPN+.
Yeah.
So if you get the Disney bundle, you're good.
I got the Disney bundle.
I don't have it.
I don't know what to tell you.
I'm going to have to. Well, I'm going to.
It's the only thing I watch.
I'm going to monitor it on the internet and with the stat pack. That's a good way to, they have.
I've done that.
Because I'm going to write something myself because we're not going to have anyone there. I can't get down there. And I'm going to try. Hopefully, Dallas is going to go to the Iowa State game. God, yeah, they just destroyed somebody last night.
Yeah, they did.
They showed clips of Addie. Man, her footwork's incredible for someone her size.
Oh, she's really good.
Yeah, I thought her size was going to be more of a hindrance for her. So far, it hasn't been.
But she's learned how to play with what she's got going.
Oh, man, her footwork is incredible. And they watched her. She was making fadeaways from like 11 feet right by the free throw line after doing 3 or 4 pivots in the lane and then creating separation by fading away. And then you look at her size and you're like, how does she do this?
Yeah, she's very athletic for her size.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, if Jan can win that game, that will be very impressive. Because if you had, Iowa State will be favored in that game. I think they're
probably so.
It's there.
Oh, isn't
it there? I think it's there. I haven't looked far enough ahead in the schedule. I know Iowa's got a game. They got a game at Kansas coming up, or not at Kansas. It's versus Kansas I believe it's in Sioux Falls. That's after the Drake game, and then I don't know where Iowa State is on the schedule. But
I'm looking.
I thought it was in Ames, but I haven't ordered credentials yet. I'm going to do that this week.
Let's see. At Drake versus Kansas versus Washington State versus Rhode Island versus BYU versus Tennessee.
God, when is it?
Iowa State. It's in Iowa City.
Oh, it's in Iowa City.
So that helps.
What date is it?
December 11th.
Oh, I didn't realize it was still there.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's not far. Man, they got a lot of games coming up here.
Boy, they sure do.
Well, they got the Thanksgiving. The tournament.
Yeah.
Where are they?
Cancun.
That's right. And that's against you. What were the teams down there?
It's going to be Rhode Island and BYU.
Okay.
So Rhode Island probably we should
just
win
3
pretty
teams?
Easily. No, but
well, who's?
I think there are 8 teams.
Oh, but those are the teams that Iowa plays no matter what.
That's right.
Oh, it's one of those tournaments. Okay,
Yes.
so it's not a win in advance. Like 4 teams you win and then you play in a championship game. Not that. I wish they did more of those.
I know, but it's not.
I don't like. I don't. I miss those teams where, you play a semifinal and a final against 4 teams.
See, I like that, too. And I always felt that the interstate game should have been that kind of tournament, and it never was.
Oh, I agree. And that's why I don't think it worked that much.
Exactly.
But with the games here, I give Iowa a much better chance. But it's going to be tough because Iowa State's – I think they think they're in – not a Caitlin Clark era. You're not going – to say you're going to duplicate that, but I think Iowa State believes they're entering into a really strong stretch here.
I don't think,
and it's not like they've been horrible.
No, they've been very good.
But I think they think they're reaching, they're peaking.
Well, they might be.
They might be.
We'll see.
So, but we're going to learn a lot about the Iowa women over the next 2 weeks.
Yeah. Well, no, there's no question.
I mean, Drake will be a test, Kansas, and then Washington State. The Kansas game is that the one that's in Sioux Falls?
I will tell you in just a second. Kansas is Sioux Falls. Okay. Yes, at the Pentagon.
At the Pentagon, yeah. And I think that's a good idea. They're doing that. I don't know much about Kansas, but it's a Big 12 team, so they've been good before.
So the next home game for the women is not till November 24th, the Wazoo game.
Washington State, yeah.
Isn't it interesting that we play Washington State
before Washington
this year? And, yeah, it is. And we haven't played Washington State in forever.
Washington State's proof. You don't need to join the Big Ten to play the Big Ten.
No, it is kind of not.
It is kind of interesting. Would have been a good game in football. Washington State football team's not bad.
No, we looked at going down to the Cancun tournament, and it was just too expensive. I mean, once you got to the property, the price was okay, and it was all inclusive.
So you're saying the flights?
The flights.
How much were they?
Well, just to get from Cancun to like Dallas, which is probably the closest major thing, was like $1,500 each. Oof. Just to get to Dallas.
Why? Because of the time of year?
Yes, exactly.
Wow.
Yep.
Even Suter has a limit.
Well,
man.
it's ridiculous.
No, I agree.
No, it was ridiculous.
I mean, you would have ended up spending $5,000-$6,000 for a Thanksgiving basketball
easily.
Yeah.
I mean, even though once you get there, I mean, your food is free and your drinks are free.
How's that?
Because it's all inclusive.
Oh, you were going to take some type of.
Yes.
Oh, I see. Okay.
But you had to get your own airfare.
So you say your food's free? Does that mean if you have to eat at the same place every?
No.
So any restaurant you go to in Cancun, you
any restaurant, there was a list. I mean, that were on property. There's like a half dozen restaurants,
okay.
But also at the venue.
How about booze?
Free.
Free?
Yeah.
Wow. So how much would that have cost? That part of it. The flight was $15.
I think with room and 3 nights, it wasn't. I mean, it wasn't ridiculous. It was $1,200 or $1,300.
So about $400 a night
yes.
Oh, so God, you would have spent $7,000.
Oh yeah.
I mean, $7,000 or $8,000.
No, and we
Could
just
you imagine spending $8,000?
I mean, we just couldn't do it.
Yeah, no, I can't imagine. There's a lot of people that would be willing to do it.
Well, there's a reason there's not a lot of fans at those tournaments.
No, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Especially those ones in Hawaii. Now, the ones in Hawaii, local people will go and fill those gyms. But yeah, no, I mean.
Well, I mean, and if we could have found even reasonable flights, we would have gone.
What if you would have driven to Dallas and flown out from Dallas to Cancun?
Well, but you still have the flight from Dallas to Cancun would have been $800, and then
but it would have cut everything in half. It would have.
Well,
but then you also would have had to driven, and that
you still would have had to spend $3,500 on flights.
No, that's a lot of money.
It is.
Yeah, that's and with these college playoffs. These teams that win and advance, and next thing you know, they're playing 15, 16 games. Think about what the fans are going to be paying to keep up with those teams.
Well, what they're going to have to do would be pick and choose. They can't go to all of them.
Oh, I know, but that's just part of it, though. Think about that, though.
Yeah.
That's what's going to – it's going to be a challenge for fans financially to keep up if your teams advance. I mean, 15, 16 games, that's a lot of games.
It is, and if you're in the playoffs, if you can drive and stay at a seedy motel, and get reasonably cheap seats, you can live with that.
Seedy.
Yeah.
Where stains rule. Stains. What do you think of Hotel Stains, Captain? That'd be a good name for a band. Hotel Stains? What do you think?
I don't stay at hotels that have stains.
You never know.
Well,
yes,
they all do.
We all do.
They all do.
No, you just made a false statement. Yes, we do.
We check the sheets.
Here's Suter and I on the same side again.
We checked the sheets.
No, they're still stains. They're there just like
we made them change at that
I've done that too. I mean, there was blood on one in Bloomington back in like '93.
Why did you call the cops?
There was blood and no heat on.
Call the cops and say, "Hey, this is
there was
crime
blood on the
scene."
bedspread." And I remember the press citizen photographers were like, "What do we do?" And I'm like, "Well, we call the front desk." And
I'd call the cops.
I didn't call the cops.
My brother and sister-in-law, Steve and Paula, were staying in Vegas one time, and I think there was a sandwich in the corner of the room.
Did they eat it?
No, they got a different room.
Well, we stayed at that microtel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I found like some guy's shorts in there.
Yeah, in the drawer, right?
Yeah.
What'd you do with them?
Huh?
What'd you do with them?
Did you role play?
Yeah.
I was going to say something like that, but I didn't think it was proper.
It isn't.
I've had some wild hotels. I told you the one about I went in. I opened up the door to the wrong room, and there were two black women in there. And I'm like, oh, God, I'm sorry. And they were all stunned. And then later on, they called the front desk saying that some white trashy guy was breaking into hotel rooms. And the guy at the front desk asked, because I was wearing like a Grateful Dead T-shirt and sunglasses. I mean, it was Friday before a football game. And I'm like, yes, I am. And I accidentally, I thought it was my room. And
That's funny.
They described me as white trash. What do you think of that? Why do you find that so funny? They called me white trash.
I just do. I don't know why.
That's not good.
And the press citizen people loved it, and it took forever to live that down. So, but
we do check the sheets.
Oh, I do.
God,
when you me, I don't. I mean, I sleep in full bodyguard in hotels. Yeah. I mean, I'm wrapped up head to tail. I'm like a mummy. That's just how I am.
Commando.
No.
Just
God.
Bring it on.
That's my problem, that there's freaks
Bring
like...
it on.
I'm like, God, who knows? There may have been a freak like Suter sleeping in this bed last night. Operation Freeball.
No. Not Commando, but...
All right. Back to the Hawks.
Back to the Hawks.
This isn't weird. This is the latest I think we've ever had a bye week, right? In football?
I believe so.
It's almost like football has been put on hold. It doesn't, because there's so much basketball going on. Usually when you have a bye week with Iowa, the focus is still on football because basketball's just starting practice. This has been a weird bye week.
Because I haven't thought about the Maryland game hardly at all.
I haven't either.
I mean, not even.
I wrote two things from the press conference the other. I wrote something on Parker and I wrote something on Lester. I didn't do much on special teams because there just wasn't much news. I mean, but it's just weird. It's like football. Well, it sort of has been put on hold. And I still say, I told you, I thought I was losing my mind for a while, and some will say I already have, but I thought, because when Lester had his press conference and nobody asked why Stratton had been practicing at linebacker, I thought, God, maybe did I hear things on TV? So then I asked a few people, and they're like, no, he had been practicing. Yeah. You had heard it.
Yes.
Yeah. And so I still, and I don't want to say like I'm coming off critical for my colleagues for not asking, but I still want to know, and don't you think this is a fair question? Because I thought Lester laid it on pretty thick about how good Stratton could potentially be, and I know part of that was just coach speak and trying to make it
why
tough.
With a thin quarterback room wasn't he staying in the quarterback
room? Why
did
you move him so quickly to linebacker if he's maybe the best thrower? That's all I want to know. That's what I would have asked, but I didn't feel good on Tuesday. I got a sore throat. It's weird. I got a sore throat yesterday too, but then I had a sore throat for like 2 hours yesterday. Like when I swallow, it hurt up by my right ear, and then it just went away.
I had sneezing jags, and here and at home last night.
Well, I wanted to go to the coordinators, but my throat was hurting. I'm like, I don't want this.
This is great. Sneezing, throat.
Oh, I'm fine now. No,
Welcome to KCJJ.
I mean, I went for a 3-mile walk this morning. I'm fine. I feel fine now. But no, I just had a weird. I've had sore throats come and go, and I rarely don't get them. And I didn't want to risk anyone getting. And I thought the questions those guys asked were fair questions. I just wish somebody would have said, "Well, why was he at quarterback?" That's all I want to know. And so I'll wait till Tuesday to ask Kirk that.
Or why wasn't he at
quarterback? But for a while I thought that, God, did I? Because I even reworded something I wrote a few days ago. Because I just wrote in there that the peculiar thing is if he is all this natural thrower, they would have offered him out of high school. Why in just a matter of weeks did you move him to outside linebacker at 193 pounds? The other thing that you wonder, what does that say about their linebackers?
Well, of course, you did lose two of your top three quarterbacks within a few days of each other.
But what's that have to do with him moving to linebacker?
Well, yeah, I know.
That's all I'm saying. If he, to me, it's a red flag is the fact that you recruited three quarterbacks and two of them just weeks into the season were playing different positions. That, to me, is miscalculations in recruiting.
I completely agree.
And I don't mean to be too critical, but now that they have to go back to Stratton possibly, they're trying to rebuild the quarterback image, and with some help from people in the media who seem to have bought into, this guy's a hidden jewel possibly. And I don't know. We'll see. I still think it's going to be Sullivan or McNamara that starts against Maryland.
Guess Sully is walking around campus in a boot.
Yeah, I've seen that. Well, they showed him on the soccer video.
Yeah.
He was on that thing. And I know neither one practiced a day ago. I know neither one of them were practicing, but the hope is that there's a lot of time until now in the Maryland game. I still think it will be one of those two guys. Stratton will continue to offer depth, but I will be very surprised if one of those two guys does not start against Maryland.
Well, and I heard that one of the senior cheerleader women has got a real good arm and played quarterback at her high school.
Suter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little humor over here.
Yeah.
Give yourself a
little humor over
He's trying to make light of everything.
Yeah, he's trying to distract from Commando in the hotel.
Well, I've moved on from that.
So I've ruined your day.
How about that for a movie? Commando in the hotel. Didn't Arnold Schwarzenegger? Didn't he have a movie called Commando?
Commando.
I never watched it.
Yeah.
I didn't watch many of his movies.
I watched some of them.
I watched the first.
I like the
what's
Terminators.
First, I watched the first two Terminators. Didn't they go to like 3 and 4?
Yeah.
By the end of it, it was the Exterminator. And then I watched Predator. Remember Predator? Get to the chopper.
I didn't watch
Get to the chopper. You didn't see Predator?
Uh-uh.
Did you see Predator?
No, I don't watch.
It was okay.
Shows like
it
that
was
very often.
He was fighting an alien who had all these powers, and yet
watched
Arnold found a way to win.
Eraser.
That was the one with
You have been erased.
who was the hot woman who played beside him in that light complected black woman? Didn't he?
Yeah.
What was her name? I don't remember the orange talk. Vanessa Williams?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's who it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah, I don't watch those movies very often.
Well, maybe
what movies? What do you mean?
It's just blowing
broaden
crap
your
up.
broaden your horizon, Suter.
I'm
So-
trying to.
So Casablanca or Predator? What are you picking?
All the gin joints, all the world you walk in.
I've never seen Casablanca.
I've seen it probably 20 times because I had it on tape.
I remember watching it for like 10 minutes, and I'm like, God, kill me, and I changed the channel. But some people say it's the greatest movie. Citizen Kane bored me.
Yeah, you know,
Citizen Kane was a snooze fest.
It just was boring.
Yeah,
I kept saying, this is the greatest movie ever. Where's Clockwork Orange when you need it?
Listen, our instructor, film instructor in college, just bragging on
Ours,
this
everyone
is the
did.
Greatest movie of all time, and I said, "You mean nothing's good? Nothing will ever surpass it." And I said,
Then
"Nothing."
along came Lethal Weapon.
I think it was, guys, it was more of a technique
Yes.
and lighting
Yes.
and that kind
Editing
of
and all that.
and
Yeah,
that kind of innovation.
But the average...
at that time.
yeah.
But
sure.
He said no film will ever surpass.
What would
it.
you pick between Citizen Kane and The Legend of Boggy Creek?
I imagine Citizen Kane.
I wouldn't.
I
You ever seen The Legend of Boggy Creek?
I wouldn't watch either.
Have you ever... Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I wouldn't watch.
No,
either.
Citizen Kane was absolutely a snooze fest.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, The Legend of Boggy
100%.
Creek was nonstop action and fear.
They were showing it at the Bijou, and we had to go see it. And
Did you have your smoking jacket on?
I just thought to myself, this is
Who starred in that?
boring.
It was
Orville.
Orson
Welles.
Orville Redenbacher.
Orville Redenbacher was. I would watch that.
Well, Orson Welles was the director as well.
Okay.
Yeah. No, it's just Rosebud. You know.
That was just boring.
Whatever.
Yeah.
It's a freaking sled.
Well, that always pissed me off when you have these instructors. I had a few of them in that film class that this was going to be the peak of cinema. The only guy that I really liked was the guy that was friends with Dustin Hoffman.
It seems like, though, when movies get built up like that, they rarely live up to
No, that's true.
expectations. A lot of the movies surprise you.
And ironically, football games can be like that, and basketball games can be like
Sporting events
that.
can often be like that.
They just don't live up to what the hype is. Sometimes they do.
Yeah.
And when they do, it's, yeah.
And concerts can be the same, but rarely.
Yeah.
I don't remember going to like too many Grateful Dead concerts where I was disappointed with the performance. They usually gave you your money's worth.
I went to one and was gratefully disappointed.
But you didn't really like the Grateful Dead.
I liked some of their songs, some of their acoustic songs where they had harmonies and stuff.
Yeah.
Working
Uncle
Man.
John's Band.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I went to multiple.
Exactly that.
I mean, there were some where they played better than others, but what they usually did, though, they always gave you your money's worth as far as how long they played.
Oh God.
Yeah, for sure.
But no, like I said, I went. Like when I saw McCartney, I wasn't disappointed when he played at Ames. God, that was back in 1989 when I saw him.
No,
Yeah, he put on almost 3 hours without taking a break.
It was 2 hours and 50 minutes.
Yeah.
And he was great. Hello.
I wanted to ask a question, and it's not necessarily since they rebuilt the north end zone, but what would you guys say is your loudest experience at Kinnick Stadium, where you thought that it was absolutely the loudest?
Well, it's hard for me because I'm in the press box.
I will tell you
Suter
the
would be able to
2010 Iowa-Wisconsin game. And
The fake punt.
my ears were absolutely.
They got pretty quiet after the fake punt.
It was sepulchral after that. My ears were just exploding as I walked out of the
I
stadium.
do remember people telling me that Cooper DeJean's punt return last year, it built and built and built, and then it fell just deathly silent as the circumstances started to change. But it's hard for me though in the press box. You just
No,
can't
you
hear.
can't get a sense.
Was that the one with the red and white pom-pom?
Yes.
It was.
Yeah, that was terribly loud.
Yeah.
I hear a lot of people talk about 2021 versus Penn State as well.
Was that when they won on the last play? Penn State won on the last play?
No, that's the one that Nico Reganey scored a touchdown late. We were behind the whole game, and they had so many false start penalties.
I don't
things
even
like
remember.
that.
Yeah, I don't even remember that game. So no.
I'm amazed at how some of my colleagues can remember exactly what happened on third down in 2014. I can't remember what happened
So no,
3 hours ago.
that's not even on the radar for me because I don't even remember the games. So.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Go Hawks.
But 2010, man, I'll never forget.
Were
that.
you there for the Houtland field goal in '85? I was not.
No, I was on the road.
I'm sure that was loud.
We were in Nisswa, Minnesota, at
Really?
the Channel
I
Inn.
don't remember where I was. I bet I was watching it with Mom. I would have been. That was my junior year in college, or senior year in college. So I'm guessing I would have been watching with Mom.
But that game in 2010 yeah.
Yeah, but then it
And
feels
then-
so silent after that fake punt.
And people are throwing those damn pom-poms over,
Yeah.
out the side. What a
That
that
a
had
lot of
to
people
be-
say that was the shift into a stretch of a little bit of mediocrity.
To me, it was.
Yeah.
And that was a big shift. And I thought the two programs kind of had a little bit of a tectonic shift there.
Yeah, but even prior to that, though, Tom,
For sure.
Wisconsin's
For
been
sure.
better than Iowa for 30 years.
Yeah.
Since Barry Gate led them to their first Rose Bowl in '93, they've been better than Iowa.
Yeah.
They just have been, and I think most Iowa fans realize that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, it's the Wisconsin series has shifted now. Iowa is the better.
Iowa's-
They're the better team right now.
They are.
And Wisconsin's their program. I'm not saying it's in trouble, but I mean, it's still the jury's still out on whether Fickle's going to make them good again. I mean, I'm not saying they were never ever. I mean, they were close to being elite under Barry a lot, but they were never like an Alabama. They were always really good, and they won 3 Rose Bowls under Barry, and they were sort of like Iowa on steroids a little bit. That's how I would describe them when they were at the peak of the Alvarez era.
Well, they got.
You know,
They
Hayden
had
got
the running backs.
had the running backs. Hayden got to the Rose Bowl 3 times. Barry won 3 Rose Bowls. You know, they did everything Iowa did just a little bit better. But now Iowa, to me, has moved past Wisconsin right now as a program.
have.
But who knows where both teams are going to be a year from now? Because the situations are so fluid now with the portal. Iowa's going to look so different next year on the offensive line and on defense, at least faces.
So what does that say that Iowa has passed Wisconsin and Iowa is 6-4?
Yeah, because Wisconsin's
Wisconsin's 5-5.
or 5
right?
and 5, yeah.
Yeah.
And Iowa beat them handily. But like I said, Iowa's going through a ton of personnel changes. Wisconsin may be better next year.
They might.
You just don't know. I mean, next year's going to be interesting for Iowa. It's going to be a huge challenge to rebuild that, to replace that defense, and to basically rebuild the offensive line. You do have 2 starters. Bo Stevens and Jennings Dunker will give them a nice nucleus to build around, assuming they both come back, which I assume they will. But you're still missing 3 starters on the offensive line, and you're going to be missing 8 starters on defense. You're starting tight end.
Yeah.
There's a lot of pieces gone next year.
There are.
But I'm not necessarily saying that's going to lead to trouble, but Iowa's got a lot of work to do. They got a lot
it's
to work.
A tough schedule.
Tough schedule, and and they're spending a lot of money in the portal to get athletes here, to get some marquee athletes here, and I mean that portal is going to be under a lot of.
Did you see where Michigan is purportedly spending up to $10 million to flip that quarterback?
And he turned it down.
He did?
Well, initially he said he's not interested. $10.2 million, which makes you wonder how much LSU's giving him.
Jeez,
he's from Detroit, isn't he? His name's Bryce Underwood.
I think that's right.
Yeah, I believe he's from Detroit, and he's been committed to LSU for a long time. God, to go down there and play for that. Ugh. Brian Kelly.
But $10 million in your home state, and nope.
And you know, I mean, he doesn't even need to play in the NFL. I mean, $10 million,
really?
I know it's not enough. $10 million is life-changing money. Can we all agree on that?
Yeah. I mean,
most people aren't going to come close to making $10 million.
Your agent gets, what, 15%?
But still, $8.5 million is life-changing.
Yeah.
Hell, to most people, $1 million is life-changing money.
Yeah, absolutely.
And yet, no, that's where we are, though. He's turned down the initial offer of 10-2 is what I read, that he turned it down. Because LSU, I'm sure, is coming close to matching that. And I'm wondering, I mean, Michigan's 5-5 right now.
Yeah.
They don't have a good quarterback on the roster. Maybe this kid's like, now that Harbaugh's not here, I don't want to be at Michigan. Because you remember, guys, when Michigan hired the wrong coaches after Lloyd, they were mediocre for a while.
They were.
They had
Rich
3-9. Rich Rodriguez
work.
And Brady Hoke. Those didn't work.
No, they didn't.
These programs don't just support themselves. Sometimes the people matter.
Yeah, they do. And speaking of mattering, let's take a quick break, and we'll be back with more of whatever.
And in the meantime, just think about Suter in that Hotel Commando.
1-800-800-ROSE. 1-800-800-ROSE. Your FTD florist is the only number you need to know to send flowers anywhere in the country or Canada from anywhere in the country. 1-800-800-ROSE. It's so easy. Just remember one number. 1-800-800-ROSE. Your FTD florist. 1-800-800-ROSE. Remember,
don't wait for an emergency to get a backup for your car keys. Unlike the olden days, car keys have gotten extremely complex. Mike's eKeys for Cars can generate the most technically advanced automotive keys that are on the market today. For spares and lost keys, Mike's eKeys for Cars can produce most conventional transponder, high security, and remote head keys. Mike's eKeys for Cars will keep you on the road. Call 319-330-9185 and schedule an appointment today. Don't wait until it's too late. Call 319-330-9185 today.
Back in 1947, when young Willa Dickens began as a watchmaker at Harty and Stocker Jewelers, the sparse utility of the war years was ready to give way to the cheer of color in fashion, furniture, and of course, jewelry. Women from Hollywood starlet to housewife glowed with colored gemstones on ear, neck, and hand. Ruby red and emerald green, blue sapphire, purple amethyst, topaz, citron, aquamarine. Often these beauties were received happily in a Harty and Stocker box. Now, as in those distant days, colored gemstones are again bringing cheer and joy. So come see what's sparkling in those famous windows at Harty and Stocker Jewelers, corner of Dubuque and Washington in downtown Iowa City. Then step inside and say hi to Willa, Terry, Tim, or Kate. One of them is always there.
Hi, this is Jill Sterner with Sterner Taxidermy in Lone Tree. It's hunting season again, and I'm inviting all of you hunters to follow us on our Facebook page. You can view Dirk's award-winning artistry, his workmanship that he completes with each individual piece. We can be reached at 319-330-1774. Again, 319-330-1774.
Hanging lights is a pain. Dealing with blown bulbs, dangerous installations, and the endless rat's nest of cords, there's got to be a better way, and now there is. Illuma Lights permanent outdoor lighting from Big Dog Tech. Illuma Lights provides illumination for every occasion. Holiday lighting, accent lights, security, and of course, lighting for the best season, football season. The Illuma Lights app lets you create your own patterns with color, motion, brightness, and static control over every individual light, or use Big Dog's presets to transform your home or business. The professionally installed track system makes Illuma Lights LEDs virtually disappear until you turn them on. Rated at 50,000 hours, you'll enjoy stress-free convenience for years to come. No more ladders, no more hooks, no more wifey's dirty looks. That's the song you'll be singing all year long with Illumilights Permanent Outdoor Lighting from Big Dog Tech. Find out more at BigDogTek.net or call 319-395-0800.
When someone is kind enough to share their time with us, we better make it worth their while.
They don't want to do people call it the game, right?
Patrick Eads and Terry Adams of Dairy Brothers Ford talk about what Here For You means to them.
You don't have to spend a half a day in our dealership to get that good competitive price. We just want to try to deliver that to you up front.
And that makes me feel good, makes me proud.
Because that's what people want. They want a fair, honest deal.
As far as the statement Here For You, we want to not just say it, but live it.
Find out what it means to you at Deary Ford in Iowa City.
GT Carr, owner of Supple's Building and Remodeling, has been offering unmatched service and quality for over 25 years. The trained professionals at Supple's Building and Remodeling will install and guarantee the products used in any job, no matter how big or small. They also stand behind their work and offer no-nonsense, exceptional customer service from design to completion and beyond. Whether it's a simple window replacement or a major house addition, you'll have the confidence that Supple's Building and Remodeling is committed to quality. Visit Supple's.net or call them today at 319-337-2246. When you go to a family restaurant, you want three things. One, a wide selection of breakfast, lunch, and dinner items. Two, you want those selections to be affordable and delicious. And three, you want to be treated like family. You get all three at the Midtown Family Restaurant. Breakfast items available anytime the doors are open. Legendary tenderloins, onion rings, and hot roast beef sandwiches, and special ribeye and shrimp nights. Daily specials at each location, and no matter if you're coming in solo or with a group of 20, you get the same special family treatment. The Midtown Family Restaurants at Court and Scott Streets and at the Walmart Plaza on Highway 1 West. Follow them on Facebook or at MidtownFamily.com. The family's waiting for you.
Diamond Dream Sports Academy, 20,000 square foot indoor facility, holds 8 batting cages, space for infield work, space for throwing and pitching and all your arm care needs. Offers private instruction, group lessons, camps and clinics, leagues, memberships. Rentals available at Diamond Dreams is open to the public.
Our top level instructors include former professional, college, and Olympic athletes. Our coaches will help these athletes achieve their full athletic potential, develop a strong work ethic, and a solid base to build. The last thing you want to do is look back and wish you had worked or played harder.
Locally owned and established in 2005, Diamond Dreams is Eastern Iowa's premier training facility. Located at 2905 Stoner Court, North Liberty. Call today and reserve your time. 319-665-2173. 319-665-2173.
This is Leah Pasha, and I've been saying, hit a deer, call Premier for years. But it's time for something new. It's still where you need to go for deer divots and door dings, as well as damaged dashboards. That's what my dad Nathan's driving at and dreams about. Why not say, when your car is dinged, be a deer and call Premier? I think Dad's going to love that. Premier Automotive, North Liberty's premier auto body repair shop.
Be a deer and call Premier Auto Body in North Liberty.
Looking for the perfect place to host your next private party? Tavern Blue on the Coralville Strip offers your guests the ideal setting that seats up to 80 people for special events ranging from retirement parties, birthdays, University of Iowa departmental parties, dinner rehearsals, corporate events, graduations, baby showers, reunions, and fundraisers. Forget the bland, lifeless hotel ballrooms. Tavern Blue offers 4 private party packages featuring delicious foods, amazing drinks, fun entertainment, a large venue, and easy booking. For more information on your next party room, drop by Tavern Blue on the Coralville Strip or contact them on their website, tavernblue.com. Eat, drink, and play at Tavern Blue.
Don't let just anyone take care of your smile. At Diamond Dental, you can expect compassion, expertise, and a personalized care plan to protect your teeth for life. With more than 30 years of combined experience, Dr. Forbes and his staff are prepared to tackle even your toughest dental problems, leaving your smile healthy and sparkling. Diamond Dental offers a full range of general and cosmetic dentistry, as well as dental treatment options for snoring and sleep apnea. It's never too early to start thinking about what's best for your smile. Schedule an appointment today by calling 319-390-3703 or visiting the office at 5815 Consul Street Northeast, Suite D1 in Cedar Rapids. You can also visit DiamondDentalPC.com for more information. Dr. Forbes is a proud sponsor of the Hawkeye Wrestling Club and the Inner Circle. Let the Diamond Dental team provide superior care for your entire family.
Dear U of I, just a note to let you know if you're ever thinking about selling Kinnick Stadium or Carver Hawkeye Arena, please consider Hawkeye Title and Settlement. We're here to provide efficient, high-quality real estate title and closing services. Signed, Hawkeye Fan Forever, and send. Hi, this is Steve Anderson with Hawkeye Title and Settlement. Whether it's a large commercial property or if you're buying your first home, remember we're here to help. Hawkeye Title and Settlement Services of Iowa City. You'll love our team just like you love the Hawks.
Football fans, this is Bill Leixenring of the Oxyoke Inn. We are on your way to or from the game. We're ready to serve you with the same quality food and customer service you've come to trust for over 80 years. The Oxyoke Inn is serving our famous Sunday brunch buffet with lunch, dinner, banquets, and carry-out daily. From our Oxyoke family to yours, we can't wait to see you again soon in the heart of Amana.
The Oxyoke Inn.
From the Harty and Stalker Studios in the heart of the Hawkeye Nation, this is the mighty 1630 KCJJ, Iowa City.
Harty and Stalker Jewelers, making memories, making moments.
You will want to take a little time to enjoy the weather here over the next several days because we have some changes on the way. It's going to get colder with some rain by mid to late next week. Today, partly cloudy, 54 our high this afternoon. The wind will be southeast at 5 to 10. Tonight, 40. Tomorrow, a little breezy, partly cloudy, 57. On Sunday, 58. Monday, a chance of rain with a high of 57, and then it goes downhill later next week. I'm meteorologist Sean Cable on the mighty 1630 KCJJ. Outside now, it's 43.
KCJJ weather, brought to you by Plum Supply.
Plum Supply, kitchens and baths. Your home never looks so beautiful.
Just remember that. Your home never looks so beautiful.
Does anybody care about Tyson and fighting this?
I hope Tyson blows the guy's head off.
You mean like murders him? Like shoots him?
If so, I'm cool.
Jesus.
That's how stupid.
So you're basically
An
promoting...
influencer
What's the guy's name?
Mike Tyson.
Yeah. John Paul?
Jake Paul.
Yeah, is he
Paul.
a YouTube guy?
Yeah.
Because he's not a real boxer, is he? Why didn't he fight people his own age?
Well, he's a boxer.
But not good enough to fight people his own age?
No.
And Tyson's
He's my
65,
age.
isn't he?
He's my age. He's 2 years younger than me. 1988, Mike Tyson's not walking onto that ring, but if it did, Jake Paul would be killed. I mean, no, it's a joke. I tweeted last night that it's kind of sad. Does Tyson need money?
Probably.
I'm guessing he's getting a decent amount of. And that's what people were speculating on ESPN last night. I thought it was, or I thought I heard someone saying that it's sad. He must need money.
I don't think he does.
But I bet he's getting a chunk.
He signed a deal.
Do we know how much he's getting for this?
He signed a deal with an animation company, and they had a cartoon. He was a cartoon character. And
I'm sure he made billions on that.
He didn't do bad on it.
Well, he made some money on Punch-Out, I know.
Knockout.
Well, it's Punch-Out. So I got to the end, and I beat him.
Are you talking about that movie where?
No.
I'm thinking about The Hangover.
Video game.
Oh, I'm talking about he was in The Hangover too, wasn't he? He had that scene in The Hangover that was pretty funny, but that was years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know why he would want to be doing this at this stage. I don't.
He's worth $10 million still.
I mean, that's what it says. I mean, but we always.
He was worth $300 million at one point.
Oh, I know. Yeah, like 30 years ago when $300 million was worth.
Yeah, multiple sites say he's worth that.
So, but in Hollywood, that's not where.
So he lost $290 million.
Yeah, that's not a lot of money if you're trying to maintain a certain type of lifestyle, which I don't know if he is or not, but I'm guessing he's probably doing this for money.
I would think you got to work to drop $290 million.
Well, he had some troubles in his life over the last 30 years.
Yes.
I mean, he lost a lot of money with bad investments. And I think that's been pretty much public knowledge.
And he was goofy.
But I bet you, does it say how much he's getting for this fight? Because, God, there's going to be people that flock to that.
Oh, sure.
Mike Tyson.
But I don't know. I've been told that this Jake Paul would be the equivalent of a really average to below average boxer. Like if he was to.
How old is he?
I think he's like in his late 20s. I'd never heard of the guy.
Well, so I mean.
So he's like a YouTube sensation. I don't know. What, do you start beating people up on the street? Or I don't know how these people come to be.
Mike Tyson, money.
Do we have a caller?
Yeah.
Hello.
Oh, well, I was just going to ask how old that guy was, but he was yelling and saying that he was going to kill him or whatever.
And then Tyson slapped him in the face.
Yeah, I know.
I think that was all
Slapped him in the
promotion.
face.
I think that was just all.
I don't know if
promo.
that's put on or what that is.
I think it's put on.
Anyway, I was going to ask you, does Wisconsin still have the fifth quarter when they do their football? Remember, they used to have they called the fifth quarter where the band would play for a long time afterwards.
I believe that they do, yeah. And their big thing is after the third quarter, the jump around.
Yeah.
He says, Tyson says it wasn't motivated by money, but he will earn $20 million.
Yeah, so that's twice as much as what he's supposedly worth.
And Jake Paul is going to pocket $40 million.
So that thing's bringing in $60 million to those. Think about
but
that.
where are they getting all the money?
Netflix.
Yeah.
Netflix is sponsoring it.
So this is going to be a great fight between an old man and a
My guess
young
is it
buck.
won't be a great
Yes, that's right.
My guess is it won't be a great fight.
Well, I'm wondering.
I mean, Evander Holyfield recently fought a much younger mixed martial arts guy and just got destroyed. It was sad.
Yeah. Now, what do you think our soccer team will do today?
I think they're going to win.
I kind of do, too.
Being at home, they're going to have a great crowd. The weather's going to be great.
You
Like
know,
I said, I wish I was there to cover it, but it can't be two places at one time. I just wish the basketball and soccer games weren't pretty much at the same time.
Yeah, that's the problem. And
So this-
also, the parking over there, you've got that huge big area back there, but still, that isn't going to hold all the cars that really want to come to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, there's
Where do you park? Out in the streets? Or because that place right next to it won't let you park in it.
Well, my guess is, you can park up by the tennis facility. You have to walk a block or so, but there's other there's other parking lots in there. And my guess is they're going to make accommodations for this. They're going to
think so.
They're going to have plenty of parking, I would think. They'll make other places available. There is more than just the parking spot by the facility, by the field.
Well, I know there's that one next door to it. On Sunday we'd park in it, but on the rest of the time they won't let you park over there.
Yeah.
Well, my guess is they will today.
My guess is you'll be able to park.
Yeah, there's going to be plenty of parking.
Okie doke.
All right.
All right, guys. Well, take it easy.
So that fight,
$5.5 million from the cartoon.
Okay, and the fight is the same time as Iowa's basketball game tonight.
Yeah, I knew it was time. Like I said, I wouldn't watch 2 minutes of that fight. I can't believe
It might not last that long. Who knows?
I can't believe. So Jake Paul, you said, is getting $40 million.
Yeah.
Well, he says I want to make $40 million and knock out a legend.
But
it says here Netflix is paying him $40 million.
But he's not. Yeah, he's knocking out a legend who's almost 60. And who knows? Maybe Tyson will win. But Tyson doesn't have near the punching power. I just think it's Jake Paul's bigger. I mean, like I said, 1988 Mike Tyson would have destroyed this guy if they were this. If you take Jake Paul where he is right now against 1988 Mike Tyson, this fight would be over in 5 seconds.
Yes,
Tyson would probably literally knock his head off. But this is Mike Tyson. I'll tell you what, Mike stayed in shape. He looks good for a 58-year-old man. But still, I just think it's unreasonable to think that he's going to not. I mean, he's even 18 years older than LeBron James, and LeBron James, what he's doing at almost 40.
Yeah, but this guy isn't a professional.
No, that's why they're doing it.
Well, yeah, he is. He's
no, he's not.
10-1.
Yeah, but he fights like YouTube people. He's not. He doesn't fight like normal boxers. From what I've read, he's more of a gimmick. He fights. It's mostly. He doesn't fight like top-level boxers at all.
Oh, that I have no idea.
And I've read where if he did fight top-level boxers, he would get destroyed. So that's what it is. This is just a big gimmick. It's
of course.
Yeah.
And YouTube, or not YouTube, but Netflix, there's a 6-bout undercard.
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yes.
Oh, Jesus.
Yes.
So, like, if somebody wanted to watch it tonight and has nothing to do with Netflix, never watched it, what would they do to get it? Do you have to purchase something through Netflix? How does that work?
Well, you have to be a subscriber for one.
So you'd have to. So somebody would
But
have
it's
to.
free after that.
But you have to.
I believe
How much?
so.
So when you subscribe, is it monthly or is it yearly?
Monthly.
Monthly. What's Netflix per month?
$12.
Well, $7 with ads, $15.49, no ads.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm never going to join Netflix. I was just wondering.
Yeah, I joined that.
I'm sure you did. I wonder how much of that I wonder how many subscriptions they picked up since they've been promoting this thing. And what's to stop a person from doing it for just this fight and then
Nothing.
tomorrow canceling?
No, they don't.
How easy is Netflix to cancel? Is it?
It's pretty easy.
Okay, because some of these are impossible.
No, yeah,
you
Apple.
better chance climbing Mount Everest backwards.
Apple is impossible, but Netflix.
They're impossible with everything. I remember trying to get my Apple password updated. Oh my God, it just took forever. I mean, at Apple, whatever password you have, it never works when you need it. At least for me, my Apple passwords never work. And then they make you wait for 2 weeks while you go through a new. I mean, it's just Apple has got the most security of anybody. They're paranoid.
Yeah,
they're paranoid.
Yeah, I can't get out of it.
Oh, and I was talking to Suter.
Figure out how to get out.
I tweeted. I heard yesterday about something called a new social media platform called Blue Sky for the first time.
Yeah.
And I tweeted that. I just asked about it on Twitter. I knew nothing about it at the time because the person who told me that they had just joined it didn't say what it was. And I tweeted, "Is it worth checking out?" And my God, it just led to a poop storm. I mean, there's some Hawkeye Elon worshipers who just were so offended that I would even mention it, and I ended up blocking the people because I'm not. They just started ridiculing me, saying it's a piece of crap site. You're nothing but a. I had no idea I guess it leans left. I found out.
Okay, what is it? Threads. Threads just.
I have no. That's just another one. I've just been told. I've just been told that Blue Skies is.
Well, I got Threads, but
I've been told Blue Sky is better than Threads. This is what I heard. And all I did was tweet to see, and I couldn't believe right away. It just leads to that's left wing. You're going to go.
There's too many.
Why are you going to leave this for a left wing echo chamber? Well, Twitter's a right wing echo chamber. I mean, one's no different than the other. But I'd rather just be on something and not have it be any politics, but that's impossible.
Well, I think that's Threads. I don't get politics on Threads when I look at it.
Yeah, but I've just been told by people that there's just nothing there. That Blue Sky's got more possibility. That's the one Jack Dorsey started, right? Blue Sky? I believe so. But I said I knew nothing about it. I just couldn't believe how I'm noticing a lot of Republicans now are getting so defensive towards Elon the way they have been towards. He's like their new. What's the word? Like their
Messiah.
I mean, Elon is somebody that they really are starting to protect now. They believe everything he says. He's like, I don't know about Messiah, but he's like their new motivation.
Hello.
Pat, I was reading where Scott Frost is on the short list to be the next UNI head coach. What do you think about that?
I would be surprised. But
didn't he coach there before?
I think he may have. I don't remember, but I don't know. I'd be surprised, but I guess maybe I wouldn't. Nothing. I mean, God, why? When you say you'd be surprised, think of the world we live in right now. Nothing should surprise you. A lot will depend on. I mean, Scott is obvious. I mean, somebody asked me about LeVar Woods or Seth. Why would somebody at Iowa, a position coach, making 5, 6? You go to UNI, you're taking a huge pay cut to go and be the UNI coach. I would think, especially if you're like Seth Wallace making $1 million. That would be a downward move. I don't know, where is Scott Frost now? Isn't he? Where's he coaching?
I think he's out in California.
That's what I thought.
Professional team as a senior analyst.
Yeah. So for Scott Frost, he's just trying to get back. And there's a lot worse jobs than being the head coach at UNI. I wonder why.
For sure.
Do you think the head coach at UNI makes $500,000 a year with everything? I would not. I couldn't begin to guess.
I would guess close to that.
Which is obviously good work. So we'll see. I mean, just it'll be interesting to see where that goes. What other names have you heard?
A lot of past Northern Iowa players and coaches that have left.
Okay.
One last thing. How many of the girls are going to be graduating from Iowa this year?
We lose Addie O'Grady.
Olson.
Yes, Lucy Olson. We lose Big Dog of Alter.
Oh, yeah. How about A.J. Ediger?
A.J.
Ediger. And what about Jada Gimphy?
No, she's still here.
And one more year?
Kylie could come back.
I think
she's kind of older.
I think with her, a lot will depend on how her body holds up this year.
Probably so.
Because the way she plays, man, she plays like Taylor McCabe avoids way more contact than Fearbeck. They just play different. Taylor McCabe is a zone buster. I mean,
Yeah.
whereas Feuerbach's diving on the floor and all that, it'll be interesting. I think if she has a really good year, though, I could see Kylie coming back.
So we lose four for sure, and maybe 5.
Yeah, so that would be significant.
I thought I read where O'Grady was a junior.
O'Grady could come. No,
don't
she's
think
listed
so.
as a senior, but I think I know. No, they announced her as a senior the other night, and she got here after COVID. So I don't think she has.
I don't think she
I think
has
she's
a possibility.
done. Yeah, I think this is her 4th year.
All right, thanks.
Yeah.
Because I think she played more than. I think she played. Yeah, no, they list. I remember distinctly the other night when they announced her. I'm like, oh, I thought Addie was a junior, and I looked. No, they announced her as a senior.
I believe Jada's in Taylor McCabe's class. Jada Jim.
So she's a junior. Well,
Yeah.
and I'm not, but she's not really in the rotation.
No.
I mean, I thought she might play more. I read all those stories about how she was going to play but in fairness, that really wasn't the Iowa coaches saying that. That was the media kind of interpreting things. But I thought she would be able to help him, but she's just not. I mean, she just doesn't. She's just not in the rotation.
She's not a shooter, for one.
But I thought maybe she could help him with defense and rebounding.
Yeah.
But she doesn't really seem like she's factoring in there. But she also doesn't seem to mind. She's a great team player. She's always positive. I'm sure she would love to play, but she doesn't seem bitter.
No, she seems to be a great person.
And she seems to know where the camera is. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes, she does.
She seems to always be in their social media promotions, which is, I mean, maybe that's what she's going to do when she's done.
It says in the chat room, Bryce Pope, P-A-U-P.
Bryce Pop, former UNI. He was a former UNI in Green Bay. But God,
Will be the new coach at UNI.
Will be.
What does he do? I got to look and see what he's doing now because he might be like my age. Not knocking people my age, but yeah, he's one of the all-time great UNI players, and he played for the Green Bay Packers. You remember him, don't you, Hunter? Bryce Pop. What'd you guys have for dinner while I'm looking this up?
Well, I'm looking up.
Wendy's chili.
He's 56. Oh, you had Wendy's chili?
Yeah.
Were there fingers in it? Or was that a finger or a toe they found?
What are you talking? I didn't.
Yeah, there was, but it was a
finger.
Yeah. I mean, God, somebody who follows stuff like that, you didn't know about that story? But didn't the person plan it themselves and got in trouble for it?
Yeah, now I remember. That was some time ago.
Well, you talk about stuff that happened in the 60s.
Well, I was there.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I was, let's see. What's he doing?
I've heard.
Oh, he's the defensive line coach. He's there now. In August 2018, he returned to the University of Northern Iowa as the defensive line coach. Yeah, if he's still there, then yeah, he's a no-brainer.
Yeah,
they would hire him before Scott Frost. And for Bryce Pop at his age, that's a good it's a good, comfortable job to have as you get closer to retirement. And you could do it, like I said, you could do a lot worse than being the UNI head football coach. So yeah, that does make sense that it would be.
Mark Farley made $400,000,
which is, I mean.
And Ben Jacobson, $675.
That's pretty good money if you can get it.
Sure is.
Biden's going to tax him.
Yeah.
Biden. Isn't he down in Argentina?
Somewhere, yeah, I don't know. Somewhere. He's somewhere out of here.
God, you sound like he doesn't know where he is. You and Biden both don't know where you are.
Medicare.
But no, Bryce Pop would make sense. I had no idea he was there.
I don't really follow UNI.
But Scott Frost, that one just, I don't know.
That doesn't ring true, does it?
Well, I don't know if it rings true. I just doesn't make sense for a number of reasons. But I don't know. I've just never heard a lot of great things about Scott Frost.
The only problem I have with UNI, Jan went there and graduated. That's not the problem. I hate the Unidome. It's so sterile.
Yeah, I mean, I've never been a huge fan of the Unidome, but it does make it nice to play high school football playoffs instead of doing it outside.
Well, that is true.
But it is kind
of. But it doesn't feel like football.
But I thought the same about the Metrodome. I never liked them.
No, I don't.
I always thought the Metrodome was just the Unidome on steroids.
No,
just
I didn't like the Metrodome at all.
I just never liked it.
Nope.
But I liked being inside when it was 18 degrees outside. I think we all did.
For sure.
And I think it's much better to be able to play high school semifinals and finals inside, as opposed to, although now
except for they're playing games we have to write.
I mean, they're playing games tonight in the Dome, and you could be playing games. I mean, tonight would have been perfect for high school. It'd be a little cold, but you imagine it'd be cool, like playing a high school playoff game on a Friday afternoon at like 3:00 outside on a day like this. It'd be beautiful. mean, this is perfect football weather.
So 7 o'clock tonight, you've got Liberty versus Southeast Polk at the Unidome, the semifinal Class 5A. We'll have it on KCJJ. You also have the men's basketball game starting at 7:30 tonight against Washington State, and then the Mike Tyson fight at 7.
And you didn't mention the Dowling Valley semifinal
Well,
game.
if Mike Tyson's got 6 matches before him, Mike Tyson ain't going to be fighting till
He's going to be asleep. He'll be asleep.
Jesus.
And then you also got Dowling, Dowling versus Valley in the other semifinal, and I assume you guys are cheering for Dowling, right? My alma mater.
Be honest with you, I will not be cheering for anybody tonight.
What about Liberty?
Liberty, sure. I mean, I don't know anybody that goes there.
But they have people that advertise. It's the community. You heathen.
I pull for an Iowa team, Iowa City team, sure. But, I mean, am I going to be riveted to my radio? Perhaps not. Perhaps not.
Well, that's very upsetting.
Well, neither will you be.
You don't know that.
No, not for sure.
Now, if Liberty and Dowling,
I'm going to say I am.
If Liberty and Dowling end up playing in the championship, I will
be torn.
I'll be torn.
Torn between
I'll
two
be torn.
lovers.
I'll just be pacing back and forth, smashing my head against the wall, not knowing what to do.
Feeling like a fool.
That Tyson fight probably won't go on till
9:30 or.
Well, that's when they all. That's always
10.
happen. But they're in Vegas, aren't they?
Yeah, but if it
It's 8
starts
o'clock.
at 7.
That's 8, 9. That's.
Well, the Netflix coverage starts at 7, so that's probably.
But that's 5 o'clock Vegas time.
Yeah.
So it'll be like the fight will be like 8 o'clock Vegas time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but not, yeah.
So I'm not sure. I'm not understanding what the big deal is.
I don't know how many people will be hanging on to watch it that way.
Well, apparently a lot, since they've already guaranteed them $60 million combined. But it's coming from somewhere.
Hello.
Hey, good morning, gentlemen. This is John Ballmer speaking. Just good to hear your voices. And Pat, I got to tell you, I would root for Dowling like I root for the fainting Irish in Notre Dame.
Uh-oh. John, that's my alma mater.
Hey, Caitlin Clark's alma mater. Watch your mouth.
I know it. I'm sorry.
Hey, John, you go to MediaCom and see how much they'll pay for us to get in the ring.
Oh, I'd pay to watch you in ball. Would you pay to watch?
No, absolutely not.
Weak sisters, Steve.
No.
You wouldn't pay to watch them have a fist fight?
Hard pass.
And you're going to have a new knee, so I couldn't take advantage of that.
No, exactly.
You just kick him in the knee, and then when he goes down, one punch to the head, and he's done.
Down.
He's done.
End of fight.
Yeah, end of fight.
11 seconds.
So when are you getting your knee done, Steve?
I don't know. In fact, I've got an appointment today to talk to a doctor. So
okay. You going to Steinler?
Yeah.
That's the place to go. They're good.
Yeah.
I'm very happy with mine, and I was in a lot of pain beforehand. Of course, I was in pain afterwards too, but you just have to suck it up, and I know you're tough.
I can take it. I can take you too, John. I can take you. Bad knee and all.
Hey, you mentioned the Iowa women. I've said this to you guys before. I'm very excited about this team. You mentioned all the potential seniors. Next year will probably be the real challenging year for our ladies because we'll have a really new cast of characters.
Well, we will, but we'll. But all the freshmen will be sophomores, and we know that.
True. And I like those freshmen.
I do too.
They really are playing like veterans right now. But
I do too.
They'll be tested against Drake, which is a good test.
Indeed, they will.
Is that not on any of the networks that we have, or is it ESPN Plus?
ESPN Plus.
God.
So if you have the Disney bundle, you have ESPN Plus. If you don't, then no.
Yeah.
Well, then you can get the app, but you got to pay for.
Yes.
I don't want to pay for any more than I have to. I'm cheap. I'm a conservative.
Yeah.
Well, then enjoy watching. Buena Vista versus Morningside.
I'll listen to Rob Brooks probably.
There you go.
He does a good job.
Yes, he does. So,
all right, Pat. Sorry to break your bubble about Dowling, but
I haven't.
They recruit.
Well, yeah, they recruited. We supposedly recruited back in my day.
Well, that was the scuttlebutt.
And what's interesting is my brother was the best player on their football team in 1977, and
really?
He was first team All-State and came here, and he actually recruited Dowling more than Dowling recruited him. I mean, there's some truth to that. Don't get me wrong, but a lot of that was blown out of proportion because people couldn't beat Dowling.
Sure.
But no, private schools have to recruit. There's way more of it going on now.
Oh yeah.
But
I
my senior year, the guys I started with in baseball and basketball, they all grew up in the churches, and nobody recruited them.
Yeah.
I think more of it goes on now, though, of course, than.
I think you're right.
Dowling's a much different school now than it was when I was there.
Sure, and it's just the landscape has changed all over for sure. So but anyway, well, we'll see what happens, and I'm going to root for Liberty. I don't know.
Liberty, Scott Chandler's done a hell of a job there. He really has.
For Iowa City,
a terrific job.
Like I said, I want to get Scott on after the season's over. I thought about trying to get him on these last couple of weeks, but he's got enough going on right now to where.
Yeah.
But no, I'm going to, because they've already made it far enough to where it's going to be a fun interview if we get him on, because I think fans would enjoy hearing from Scott. He's the Liberty head coach.
I hear nothing but good things about him.
Me too.
From people I know, and so that's good. I like that's a feel good story.
Yeah.
And it's like when Marv Cook was at Regina, he did a terrific job up there.
Well, they're similar. Neither one are teachers. They work outside of the education, and they just coach because they love doing it.
And that's in today's world. That's about what you have to do with the public school system. It's hard to get a teacher and a coach.
Yes.
Anymore. It's a combo.
It
very,
really
very
is.
Difficult.
It really is.
Yep. Well, gentlemen, good luck to the Hawk men and women. And
you bet.
Look forward to your commentary going forward.
Good enough. Thanks, John.
Yeah, thanks. Bye-bye.
Yeah, I mean, tomorrow we'll have the game to talk about, and then, like I said, we'll even the Liberty games tonight, right?
Yes.
We can talk a little bit about that tomorrow. So, yeah, it'll be because we won't have much Iowa football to talk about. I mean, God. Are there even any good message board rumors about Iowa football right now?
About Iowa football, no. There's really not. I mean, it's just like we were talking about earlier.
It's been put on hold.
The next week there'll be stuff resurfacing.
Okay, so do you think Jackson Stratton starts at quarterback against Maryland?
No.
I don't either.
No, I do not.
What's so funny?
Jake Paul is going to get dropped like G.G. Allen's pants.
Who said that?
Chat room.
Not my nephew?
No, your nephew's in there, though.
What's he saying?
Let's see. Nothing interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. My guess is I would pick Jake Paul to win just because he's bigger and younger and somewhat competent as a boxer.
30 years younger.
Mike Tyson's 50-80. I mean, he's 58. He's not Iron Mike anymore. God, remember how scary he was in his prime?
Absolutely.
I mean, I'll never forget when he fought Michael Spinks, because I thought Michael Spinks was really good, and Tyson just destroyed him in like 2 minutes.
What happened to Spinks?
I think Tyson just knocked his will.
I think he passed away, didn't
Leon, I think they both might be dead. I know Leon's dead, isn't he?
Yeah.
I think.
But that was also 50 years ago. Leon won the gold medal and almost 50 years ago, 1976, and then he beat Ali in 78, didn't he? That was sad, though, because Ali was so far beyond. Yeah. Ali in his prime would have killed Leon Spinks.
Spinks is still alive.
Which one, Michael?
Yeah.
Leon's not, though, is he?
He's 68.
Michael is?
Yeah.
I believe Leon passed, but I could be wrong. I thought I remember reading that he had passed.
I thought so, too, but I obviously could be wrong.
Spinks died in 2021.
Michael?
Leon. From St. Louis.
Also tonight, UCLA at Washington football.
See, if I was home, I'd be. What time?
Go Huskies.
What time does it start?
7.
So 5 o'clock Pacific Coast time.
Yeah.
That's a weird time to start a game on a Friday night. See, I figured.
But that's 8 o'clock Eastern. So.
Yeah, I figured it would be 7 their time, 9 o'clock our time. I was hoping I could come home and watch the second half, but that's going to be long over by the time I get home.
It will be long over. Yeah,
it's at Washington. We'll see. I mean, I think Washington's going to win, but if UCLA goes up and wins that, then they are a team that's really got it together.
Well, they sure looked good last week. I'll say that.
Yeah, I mean they did. They beat a 6-3 Iowa team, and an Iowa team that obviously isn't near as good as we thought it was going to be.
So I'll be pulling for the Huskies this evening. I'll probably watch a little bit of
Why
it.
would you be pulling for the Huskies?
Because we beat them and UCLA beat us. So I don't.
That's how you look at things?
Absolutely.
I never thought about that.
Without any question.
That is strange city.
And not to me.
I never even would have thought about that. Okay.
Not to me, it isn't.
So you take them personally?
Oh, I wouldn't put it that way either, but.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're cheering for Washington because Iowa beat Washington.
Yes.
But you're not cheering for UCLA because UCLA beat Iowa.
That is correct.
I don't think I've ever heard
Bingo.
that. I don't think I've ever heard that logic before. But to each his own.
I can see it.
I guess I just had never thought about it.
You can pull for whoever you want, or not pull for anybody.
Yeah, I don't. I couldn't care less who wins between UCLA.
Well, and keep in mind, if Washington doesn't win, I don't really care.
Yeah,
But-
I mean, I'll just outwardly say I could not care less who wins that
Yeah,
game.
fair enough.
Do you care who wins between Washington and UCLA?
I care very much.
Then who do you got? You with Suter? You want Washington?
Yeah.
Because UCLA was mean to the Hawks?
I don't care.
UCLA was mean.
Make no mistake, I don't really care.
Well, you just said you cared.
No, I said I will be pulling for Washington,
you care
but
a
I
little
don't
bit.
really care.
Okay. I won't be pulling for. I will not be pulling for either team. I just think Washington's going to win because it's there. But I may be underestimating UCLA's rise right now.
Well, they looked awfully good last week.
They
but
did.
against Iowa, as you said.
And the other two teams were Rutgers and Nebraska. I mean, to win back-to-back games at Nebraska and home against Iowa, that's pretty impressive. I'll give them that. That's not bad. Because now Nebraska's not what we thought they might be. I had Nebraska 7-1 at this stage. I think we both did.
I think we did.
And
too.
what are they? 5-4 or 5-3 or 4-4? They've been a disappointment.
I have it here.
But Iowa still better play good in that game because
Nebraska is 5-4.
5-4, and I still think Iowa's going to beat them. If it was in Lincoln, I would probably pick Nebraska. Now, depending on Iowa's quarterback situation.
God, the Big Ten's just ridiculous. So you've got 13 teams that are probably all have underachieved in one fashion or another.
4 good teams, 1 horrible team, and
Yes.
13 teams that are whatever.
Throw them in a bag, mix them up, pull out 2 names, and who knows?
Oregon, Ohio State, Penn State, Indiana, then 13 teams in Purdue.
Hello.
And
Correct.
Northwestern's on the verge of slipping down with Purdue.
Exactly.
Won't the game possibly between Iowa and Nebraska come down to Nebraska getting bowl eligible?
Oh, it could. Yeah.
Sure could.
Yeah, I don't know who Nebraska.
Because Nebraska's got a mean schedule ahead of them, I think.
I'm not sure who they have left on the
Let's
schedule.
see. This week, Nebraska plays at USC.
That'll be a tough game. I kind of think USC is going to win that game.
They might.
So that
But
makes
they
it
have
5-4.
underachieved badly.
Oh yeah, and they're desperate. They're 4-5.
Yeah.
Then who does Nebraska have the week before Iowa?
That I don't know.
So yeah, no, they very well could be
I
playing
think
for
it's a
bowl
powerhouse.
eligibility. What's that?
I think it's a powerhouse. I think it's one of the top 4 teams they have to play.
Well, here I'll just look up their schedule.
Yeah, there you go. And,
Thanks.
So, yeah, thanks for the call. So, yeah, I mean, Nebraska, yeah, they do have a – I do remember when we were picking their season saying that things got real tough the last 3 games.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, that was when we thought USC was going to be good.
Oh, okay. They're at home against Wisconsin.
Oh.
Tomorrow they at USC, then they're at home against Wisconsin, then they're at Iowa. That's their last.
And they're looking like that's 3 beatable teams.
Oh, I'm sure they are.
Yeah, that's
I'm
well
sure
they
they
should
are.
be.
But I think they're going to lose 2 of them.
Probably.
I don't think they're. And yes, unless USC is just in complete implode, I think they're going to win that game. And I think Nebraska beats Wisconsin in Lincoln, don't you? That gives.
I don't know.
That gives them that would give them their bowl eligibility 6 wins. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see.
See what happens the next 2 weeks.
Watch it you just better hope it's not 2 6-5 teams going into that final game because Iowa fans will not be happy.
Well, and it sure could be.
Yeah, but I don't think they're going to lose at Maryland.
No, I don't either.
I'm saying that more about Maryland than I am Iowa. Obviously, Iowa is a flawed team.
Yes.
Maryland, though, and I think those Iowa players are going to take some motivation in making sure that Kirk doesn't lose to his son. I'm not saying that but that's going to be part of it. Whether they're going to downplay it, but it's part of it. And
So
those Maryland players are going to do the same thing trying to win for Brian Ferentz.
So then other than Minnesota, Iowa has not played particularly well on the road, have we?
Now, the thing with Brian Ferentz in Maryland, though, how much I'm sure they get along with him, they respect him, but how much emotional attachment can be built in several? He's been with them for like 3-4 months. You know what I mean? I just think I just think that if there's an emotional edge, it goes to Iowa in this situation. If the Ferentz storyline is going to be a big deal, but the game's still going to be played and won on the field, and I just think Iowa's a little better than Maryland. But the Brian Ferentz story is going to be there, and I know Kirk's only going to talk about it so much, but he'll be asked about it next Tuesday. Hopefully he won't be asked about it over and over, because that's when those press conferences get a little annoying, when people try to get their own soundbite about the same thing, and that happens more and more now. Yeah. I mean, ask him about it once, he's not going to say anything. Yeah, I hope we kick his ass. I mean, it's not. I mean, he's going to be very guarded and diplomatic in what he says. It's an awkward situation. It's something he probably never imagined he would be doing.
No, probably not. But he also knows that's the profession.
Well, that's just the way it is. Yeah,
you get those matchups, and he's going to.
Brian Ferentz didn't have to stay in the Big Ten. He chose to go to Maryland, knowing that they were going to play Iowa.
Yeah,
so they'll be fine.
Yeah.
But no, that's a game where, I mean, if Iowa goes out there and loses that game, then I still have a little bit of faith in this team. I still think it's going to go 8-4, but still has to do it. I also thought it was going to beat UCLA.
Mm-hmm.
I also thought it was going to beat Michigan State.
Yeah, and we didn't.
I've been wrong. I've been wrong a lot about this team. I've overestimated this team a lot recently, and we all have.
Yeah.
So we shall see. But I still think UCLA is better right now than Maryland.
Oh,
now,
absolutely.
But I do give Maryland a chance at home.
Yeah, you have to.
At home.
mean, if for no other reason, as we said, Iowa has not played well on the road except at
Minnesota. And Iowa has a really precarious situation at quarterback.
Yes, they do.
Even when everybody's healthy, it's not a healthy situation.
No.
I mean, not to sound too critical, but I know people want to insist that Brendan Sullivan's the answer. We don't know. We haven't seen enough. The one start he made, he didn't play very well.
No, he
didn't protect the football. He committed 3 turnovers, and they lost.
Yeah. And he just got crunched.
And McNamara, the difference with McNamara and Sullivan, there's still some freshness with Sullivan, some intrigue, because he hasn't played much. McNamara, we've seen this thing.
Yeah.
Over and over. He started 13 games, and it's been pretty much the same thing. We know he can't run. We know he doesn't have great arm strength. We know at times he can be inaccurate. And throw all that together.
That's kind of a lot.
Yeah, well, as I kept going on with that, but was any of it wrong?
No.
Yeah, I named off those 3 things, and I'm like, Jesus, that's no wonder they're 6-4.
Okay, Brendan Sullivan. Inaccurate, can run.
Poor decision-making. Lester even said it. I mean, they did not want him running 9 times against UCLA, and Lester made it clear that on 6 of those runs, he panicked and fled from the pocket before he should have. That's not good quarterback play. And that's why he ended up getting pounded. He's too impatient to go through his progressions, because I just don't think he's comfortable as a pocket passer.
Well, he didn't win the job at Northwestern either in the spring.
Yeah, so like I said, they need to upgrade the quarterback position. I've had some interesting conversations with some former players. I'm not going to name them over the last couple days, and they all say the same thing. They got to upgrade the quarterback position. Now, I will say the people I talked to who were very critical of Brian Ferentz believe that Tim Lester's a good hire. They like Tim Lester. They think he just needs more time to get his stuff going. But they said, no matter, he could be the quarterback whisperer, though, but if you don't get better players, no matter, there's only so much a coach can do. You got to have better players.
Yeah.
They have to recruit better quarterbacks.
And, it's unlikely that Jimmy Sullivan's going to be able to come in here next year and be the starter.
No, I mean,
unlikely.
Drew Tate played in spots as a true freshman, but you don't want a true freshman. If Jimmy Sullivan's their quarterback next year, they've got trouble. They got trouble.
Trouble right here in River City.
Because I still say they're going to try to get a veteran out of the portal, and Jimmy Sullivan's going to have to understand that's just the way it works.
Yeah.
But they're in a catch-22. I don't think there's going to be a lot of great quarterbacks lining up to play football at Iowa. Do you?
No, there weren't last year.
No, that's why they got Jackson Stratton as a walk-on.
Yeah.
And so, but yeah, it's going to be interesting. I still like Lester, and the people I talked to who have been very critical of Iowa football do think Tim Lester was a good hire. They like the fact that he's a former quarterback and head coach, but it just takes time.
Yeah. And do you think he will devote the time to stay here?
It depends on what offers he gets. I'm sure he's helped his cause a little bit by the way this running game has been turned around, and by the fact they're averaging more points, and by the fact that nobody's making fun of the Iowa offense anymore.
That's good.
And that's Tim Lester. I mean, I guess you strike while the iron's hot. If, let's say, it seems like Tim's happy here. He's making $800,000 a year. That's good money.
It's pretty good.
But let's say all of a sudden program a little higher up, like an Alabama or something wants a coordinator. See him going. Now, what would be interesting, what if you and I offered Tim Lester the head coaching job? Would you take it?
No.
Would you take almost a $500,000 pay cut?
I don't believe so.
Unless we don't know what you and I is going to be offering this new head coach. My guess is the new head coach is going to be making more than Farley made.
Well, they might have to.
Well, I would imagine, unless Bryce Pop doesn't, not that. Maybe Bryce Pop will be like, hey, that's fine. I'm already here anyway. You give me the $400,000, I'll make it work. I mean, but if they want somebody from outside, I think they would spend more money. But it'll be interesting to see how long Lester does stay here. Now, if let's say Kirk retires after this season, would you be interested in Tim Lester being the head coach?
I sure would.
I'm not sure on that one yet. I was asking myself that question the other day because somebody asked me that. What about him as the head? I would need to see more.
And fair enough. I mean,
because he did get fired by his alma mater.
I would be interested in him getting an interview and being in the mix. Because,
I think that would definitely happen depending on who was in the mix. Because, I mean, I know, some fans disagree with me on this. They think that, the coaching searches that since I've been here, it's not like major high-profile coaches are lining up for Iowa jobs. But I've been told by people that if Iowa would just try harder and think outside the box a little bit, that they'd be able to get better candidates. They blame it on Iowa. I'm not so sure about that. I mean, when Hayden left, it was, Don Patterson, Chuck Long, Bobby Stoops, Kirk Ferentz, and Terry Allen.
Yeah.
All great coaches, but by far the highest profile was Stoops, and he'd never been a head coach. Mm-hmm. What I'm saying is there weren't Nick Sabans and people like that lining up for the Iowa job. I don't know if that will ever be the case.
Well, we'll see. We're going to see eventually whether this year, next year, or the year after that, or the year after that. We'll see soon enough.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, like I said, I will be surprised if Kirk is still the head coach in 2 years. I'm not saying I think he's nothing. But I've said before, nothing would surprise me. When you have a 69-year-old head coach and a 65, it wouldn't surprise me if he and Fran were both done after this year, or if they both coached another year. I don't. But it's obviously the end is much closer than the beginning here. I mean, the retirement's much sooner than later. It's obvious.
Yeah, this is the end. Doors.
I know.
Yeah.
Not one of my favorites. It's too long.
Terrible.
Too long and sad.
Ridiculous.
I don't like every Doors song. That one was silly.
Dirge.
Then he kills his dad, and didn't he kill his parents?
I wouldn't permit it to be played on KFMH.
Boundaries. You're a tyrant, man. Your boundaries.
Well, I will say I'm not a big Doors fan, and that song validates me.
Yeah. What about freedom of speech? What about freedom of speech?
What about it?
No, like I said, I have a ton of Doors albums, and I rarely listen to the end. It's just depressing. Well, you know what made it famous was Apocalypse Now.
Yeah.
That's when it made its resurgence, and the Doors put out that Greatest Hits album right after Apocalypse Now came out, and that's when there was this big resurgence of Jim Morrison, Mystique, and all that.
Yep.
Late 70s, early 80s. I'll never forget it was that picture of Morrison with like a red prism, the Greatest Hits thing, and that's kind of when I discovered the Doors. It would have been like 79 or 80 when it came out, and I remember when they were bombing the island, they were playing the end on Apocalypse Now.
Yeah. I never watched Apocalypse Now.
Oh, I did.
Well, I did. I can't remember much about it other than
it's one of my favorites.
It was a good movie.
I saw a Hallmark Channel commercial where they got their Christmas movies, and one of the Christmas movies in the background is "Call Me Maybe" by Carly Rae Jepsen.
That's a movie? I thought it was a song.
It's a song, but it's a background music.
Oh, I thought you said movie. I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay.
Call Me Maybe.
Yeah.
Were you happy?
Huh?
That made you happy, didn't it?
It was good. When it's on, I'll recommend it to you.
Recommend it to me. There you go. So, but and then you got the women wrestling. There, do you have it where they're? Well, let's see. I want to promote that again. I'll go back to Lance's text message.
Yes, it's 1:30 Saturday.
Where are they?
They're hosting Cornell College and William Jewell.
Okay, for some reason I thought I saw some. Oh, the men's. Where are the men?
Men wrestling?
Yeah.
They are at Bellarmine.
And what's that?
I don't know.
Okay, so I saw the men getting ready to fly. So the men are in a tournament in Louisville, Kentucky. The women are here hosting, and the women are hosting on Saturday, right?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, a lot of stuff going on here, and then the women play at Drake on Sunday.
Yep.
the men tonight, and like I said, and the weather is not going to be. It's going to be an afterthought. When do we have? Is there any in the foreseeable freezing temps? Is there any of that yet?
We're Wednesday and Thursday. The highs will be in the low 40s.
Okay. Well, I mean, it froze when I got my froze last night. Because when I got my trash cans to take out, they have ice on them. So we've had we had a frost last night.
So Amy had to scrape her windows this morning.
Oh, okay. So we had a hard frost last night. Yeah.
Not a Scott frost.
But still, though, we can't. This has been one of the nicest Novembers, and Tom always, we're going to pay for it. Do we pay for it more in December, January, or February? What's your guess?
Earthquakes are in the forecast for next weekend.
January will be hell on earth.
That's when it was last year for 2 weeks.
Hell on earth.
It was 2 of the longest weeks I can ever remember.
Boy, it was, and it was cold.
It was. So.
All right, that it?
That is it.
That's it.
We'll be back, and Don Patterson will be on the show Monday to talk about, we'll talk about Hawkeye football too, but to talk about everything else that went on.
All right, we got some police reports coming up. Captain Steve and Tommy Lang, hawkfanatic.com. Check it out. It's free.
KCJJ Weather, brought to you by